What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Lured Up Podcast Creator Roundtable for Instagram. Not streamed. We just had like the biggest fail ever trying to get this thing to stream. Did not want to cooperate, so we're just going to record this thing local and push it out to YouTube after. So it doesn't matter. You didn't miss anything because it didn't happen yet. But yeah, my name is Ken Pescatore. I'm the host of Lured Up Podcast, and this is the Instagram panel. So we're going to go around the room really quick, make a quick introduction for everybody. Then we'll kind of do a second lap around the room. Everyone will kind of talk about their brand, their channel, and then we'll dig into some topics about creating and what the Instagram format and channel or tool is all about when it comes to creating content, building an audience, and expressing yourself creatively with Pokemon, in a specific way. So it makes for a really cool platform. So let's go around the room. First here, just quick hellos. We've got the Phoenix.
Hey, I'm the Phoenix.
We got Shiny Instinct.
What's going on, guys?
We've got Pokemon Balloons. Yes, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Hello.
We got Professor Pokeballer.
That's me.
And we've got half of the Poke Couple.
Just half. The better half is indisposed.
Oh, I was about to say you're the better half. I was like, man, he's going for it.
No, I'm not saying that. You kidding me?
And we have Risen in the house also. How are you, man?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Dude, so excited to have you here. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk shop. And what these roundtables kind of showcase is talking about a little bit behind the curtain of what the creators do to express themselves creatively, build an audience, and more importantly, how they use their specific platform to get their message and their content across to their consumers. And I'm very naive to Instagram because the way I use Instagram is as a companion to my other platforms, which is going to be the podcast or a website or, even some YouTube. It's always like this ancillary thing I have over here on the side that's kind of running. And some of the creators here today, Instagram is the main platform, and that's very intriguing for me, and that's kind of why I wanted to bring everyone together to talk about it, because I think there's a lot that I can learn from this, and I think Instagram is a very, very accessible and approachable platform for people to get started in content creation. So I think that it's just like Pokemon Go. If you have a phone, you have access to Instagram. That's all the equipment you need. You can get out there and start creating. So really excited to talk to everyone. So let's go around the room a little bit and give everyone a chance to kind of explain what they're all about, what their channel or brand is all about, and then we'll start talking shop. So the Phoenix, how are you, man? Why don't you introduce yourself? Let us know where you're from and tell us all about what you got going on at your channel.
Sure. So first, thanks, Ken, for having me. So I'm the Phoenix. I've been on Instagram for about 6 or 7 months. I made my Instagram right before GoFest of this year. I post pretty much whatever I want, really, at this point. I post shinies, I do AR pics, I do raid bosses, just whatever I catch. I do PvP, so I do a little bit of everything. I'm starting to focus more on the AR shots because I really like that. I really enjoy doing the AR photography. Besides PvP, that's probably one of my favorite things now. Just shooting Pokemon.
Just shooting.
Shooting. Yo, Buddy Adventure is going to be awesome. Buddy Adventure, I think, is going to really take AR photography to like a whole nother level of interactivity and immersion. I'm so excited for that feature. I cannot wait.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for that. I think Instagram is the perfect platform for me because really I'm doing those quick shots. I'm doing the AR shots too. So, yeah.
Awesome. And Shiny Instinct, man, why don't you tell us what you're all about, where you're from, and what do you have going on at your channel?
Oh, thanks for having me, first off. And I'm from Northern California. I started my page on August 2018, and I used to just make like updates for my Facebook raid group, and I would get like 10, 20 likes, and a bunch of people were commenting like, you should like post this to more people. And I started on Instagram, and I met a bunch of my friends like Professor Pokeballer, the Poke Couple, Jade version, and I got part of the DM group, and it really took off from there. And I started making like news and guides for certain events and tips that like you're not necessarily always thinking about. and then I started getting into like, what if shinies look like this? And people have fun with my theory posts. It's kind of like a hit or miss sometimes.
Well,
And
that's cool actually. I mean, it's because I think that with your chat with your brand, it's cool to hear that it kind of started as like out of a need for something in your community. I hear a lot of people talk like that, where it's just like, oh, I started doing it because there was a local need for it, and then it just kind of spread its wings. That's kind of cool.
mm-hmm.
Awesome. And then now we have Pokemon Balloons here, which is probably the most unique creator of the panel here, which I'm so excited to have on because Adam, the co-host of Lured Up, showed me your account, and I just thought it was the frickin' most cool thing. That was just so outside of the box from what I was used to and other creators that I'm used to interacting and speaking with. So why don't you tell us about yourself and what you have going on in your channel?
Well, thank you so much. I'm Renee. Everybody knows me as Pokemon Balloons. I have on my profile Artist of Many Trades, Master of Balloons. I'm an AR plus photographer too. I do clay sculptures as well. I don't know. I didn't really start my Instagram off trying to do only balloons because I was really excited about the AR plus feature. So I kind of wanted to mix it up a little bit. And then I started to post the balloons, and they started going up way more than my AR photos were. So it kind of rolled on from there.
Is that something that you do like in your day work? Like, I mean, because it looks like it's a little bit more beyond like a hobbyist. Like they're freaking legit, balloons. The balloon work, it's insane. Like I gotta know. I'm so freaking intrigued. Like this seems like more than a hobby.
Well, yeah, it started off as me wanting to start my own business and everything, but Pokemon Go came out, and I started to make Pokemon for my daughter, and I posted them to a local Facebook page, and they just took off, and I started doing balloon hunts for the community and stuff like that. So I had this whole backlog of balloons that I finally was able to post on my Instagram once I started it. I've had it since January of this year, I believe.
Awesome. Awesome. That's great. And all right, well, cool. We'll come back to you in just a second. Next, let's go over to Professor Pokeballer, man. How are you? This is I've probably you're one of those channels that I've been following for a while, and it's just a ton of info coming out of your brand. So why don't you explain to us, introduce yourself, and let us know what you got going on.
Well, I'm from Virginia. All of you guys probably, I know I've known most of you guys for a while, minus the Phoenix and Pokemon Balloons. Poke Couple, I Am Rising, and Jacob, also known as Shiny Instinct. I've known them since pretty much I started not this past October, but the October before that. So my account's about a year old or so. Basically, I was like, I've been playing since day one, and I was like, hey, I basically spend half of my life playing this game, so why not start creating content for it? You know what I mean?
Sure.
I've always kind of been a graphic designer of sorts, so it's also like an outlet for me to like do that and like get better and just have fun and share what I do. And I'm not really a YouTube guy myself. I don't really have time or the mobility to go out and make full-length YouTube videos and stuff, so it's kind of my way of sharing what I do with the world in a way.
That's awesome. I mean, that's a great perspective and a great way to look at it because, again, it just adding to that accessibility that we'll kind of talk about when it comes to what Instagram provides for its users and its creators. It's just it's in your pocket wherever you go. So I think that's really cool and very interesting. All right, cool. We'll come back in a second. I have your name here as Nerdy. So explain to me, man, the Poke Couple. Yeah. Well, you tell me. How long have we been talking on Instagram and on Twitter and stuff about doing something together, man? It's been a while.
Yeah. So we have a little bit of a longer story. All right, so there's like two parts to it. Part one is where or why I started the Pokemon page, and it's because I've been doing Instagram. I don't want to say professionally because it's a hobby still, but I have another account called The Nerdy Hero, where I talk a lot about comic book movies and just anything around that, memes, videos, funny or not. And that's where my main focus was. And then I started getting back into Pokemon Go. And when I started getting back into it was when I met my fiance, and we both started playing together. She moved over to where I live now, and then we met a community in this area. We started playing a lot, and then I wanted to share all the funny things that were happening and all the shinies and raids on the Nerdy Hero account, which I mean, I could. It is my page. I could do what I want there. But a lot of the comments were the usual, like, you still play this game, or all that, those comments, but I won't get into those. I just wanted to find an outlet where I can post about this, and people that want to follow will comment. So I started a new page, and that was not called the Poke Couple. I think it was called the Poke Hero, because I came from the Nerdy Hero. But then I realized that me and her can both post our stuff there, so I called it the Poke Couple. And from that point on, we started posting our catches and our shinies and our memes, anything that we had, and that's where it kind of started. And that's basically what our page has become. Is we post some news. Most of it, if not all of it, is reposted from maybe like Shiny Instinct here, or a couple of gaming, or Jade, or Leak Duck. We'll repost their stuff. We don't really make graphics, but when it's our catches, we will post the video and it'll show a little cartoon character from the Bitmoji app, so that people can have a visual aid to show which one of us two is the one that's catching it. So that's pretty much where that idea came from. Instead of having to like just see someone catching it and having to read which one of us is the one that caught it. And then since then, it's pretty much all we've been doing, and we've had a great time. I even started doing the vlog type of things on the IGTV, because I mean I never really wanted to take it to YouTube. Just that the format just didn't really fit with what I wanted to do. But when I just thought about the IGTV setup, where it's a vertical screen, just like a mobile game, mobile app for
Right,
Instagram,
right.
the two together just made sense to me. So I started screen recording more casual stuff, then actual video recording, some things around me, some video recording of us in the car, or we got the dog. So just stuff like that, putting it all together, throw some music, and it just started going along with that idea, and it fit perfectly with what I wanted for like a theme for our own type of vlogs.
No, and I think you nailed that too, because like I think between the Bitmoji stuff and the just kind of the overall layout and overlays that you guys use, it's very distinguishable, and I think that's that's something we'll talk about too. But I think that's very important when it comes to developing a brand and creating this consistency for new consumer acquisition and loyalty, is being able to have that distinguishability from your content from other people's content, because the game visually is not that doesn't have a lot of diversity when it comes to what you're seeing on screen, so it kind of requires you to be a little bit more creative with things outside of the box to kind of make it your own. So very cool, very cool to hear. And then finally, down in the end here, we've got Risen, who's been on the Lured Up podcast as a guest. We hung out in Chicago at GoFest, and I'm super excited to have you on, man. Why don't you tell us all about yourself, your brand, your channel, and what you got going on? Oh, you lost your mic, dude.
My bad. My dogs are like barking at whenever we get up. But thanks for having me on. So excited to be here. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you and then all of these lovely people tonight. But yeah, so I got started on Instagram, and it's been like over 5 years ago or so. Just a general account that I had with friends and family. And then I was just interested, I got interested in content creation and the idea that people do that as a living or as hobbies. And how can you grow a following? What does that look like, right? And so I started with 250 friends and family, and then grew that to about 500 people, and was like, oh, this is interesting. So I just kept going. I kept going. I have a bunch of other Instagram accounts. And yeah, it's just I love I've done other social media platforms. I've done YouTube, done a lot of stuff, and Instagram is just, I don't know. I love the people. I love the interaction that you can have with people. It's just, I can't find it anywhere else. And it's just fun. The content creators are great, and then the people who are just following and liking and the joining your communities. I, I just really enjoy them. Like I said, I've tried a lot of other platforms, and I just can't seem to find what Instagram has. And so I'm always trying new stuff on Instagram. I'm always trying. Like right now, I'm doing this story. So I'm about to do a bunch of content for Sword and Shield. And on Instagram, I posted a story of me shiny hunting for a specific Pokemon, finding another Pokemon, and doing some different like styles with that. And so, yeah, I'm always just like trying new stuff, learning and growing.
Awesome, man. That's really cool to hear. And what I've noticed working in the podcast space, which is again very niche. It's very unique and kind of isolated from visual formats of content creation when it comes to Pokemon. I've worked with a ton of YouTubers, and the YouTubers have like their own thing going on, and they all kind of collaborate and work together and support each other. And then I've met Instagram creators, and you guys all know each other. It's crazy, and like you all work together and share your content. It's awesome. And then I have like you have like the AR photographers who have like the AR fam, chat that's been, going on for, since the inception of even before Ghost Snapshot came out. It's like everyone has these subgroups of creators that all work together, and I think that's fantastic. And what I like to do is kind of bridge that gap between people that are on podcasts or people that are in YouTube or people that are in Instagram or other, artistic outlets. And that's really what I've been really digging on lately, is finding these creative outlets that are kind of not your typical, okay, I'm not, out there holding a camera in front of my face, or pointing a camera at me, more artistic. We just had Reese, Disney Gamer, on the Lured Up podcast last week, who's, focusing on video editing now. And that's, I've already had people message me saying like, oh, I'm inspired by that because I don't want to be in front of a camera ever. I want to be behind the camera. I want to, be responsible for creating these videos. And, that's very inspiring as a creator to hear, because it's like, all right, there's other outlets and there's other ways that you can get involved creatively with the franchise. And, that's really intriguing to me, and that's really exciting. So, and that kind of, breaks down to what I wanted to bring Instagram creators on, because I'm so used to this, like I was saying, as this ancillary thing, as a companion to other things that I'm doing. I'm very intrigued to hear from you guys about, what it's like actually using Instagram as a core platform, which is definitely cool. So I got some notes here together, and I'll go around the room and kind of talk to everyone here. But the thing that I think is probably the most important for aspiring creators to hear, and would probably help you guys even creatively to express yourself, is just what is it about Instagram? What is it about the platform proper, the platform itself, that kind of lends itself to assisting you in getting this content out? Because if you're doing AR photography, obviously you have a static image, or if you're doing vlogging or some kind of thing like that, might lend itself towards video or YouTube. Instagram kind of has a blend of everything. You can do live streaming, you can post videos, you can put static images, you could do, shared streams with people. So that's really why I'm so intrigued by the platform. So I'm just going to kind of poke around the room here. And, I'm going to start with Pokemon Balloons, because I think that this is probably the most unique perspective that we could probably have here with, and the most fitting use of Instagram is as a photo sharing platform, because I don't know how I would come across your content and what you have going on artistically if it wasn't for a platform like Instagram. So were you immediately drawn to Instagram to, when you started doing this stuff, or were you kind of on Instagram and you said this might be a good opportunity for me to use to get my art out there? Like how did that all kind of fall into place for you? And, how has Instagram been as far as that vessel for creative expression for you?
Instagram is really awesome. I actually started out on Facebook and gathered about 500 people on Facebook. And then I found Instagram and, the uniqueness of being able to just have a page of photos without any words. Photos say more than words can anyway, right?
Sure.
So, it's really cool how you can post a picture and then hashtag it up and everybody can see it. And it just, I don't know. I'm kind of losing my train of thought here.
No, I think that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it's with a visual format like that, especially with the way Instagram kind of lays things out for its viewers. It kind of adds to that impressive feeling of like, oh my god, look at all this freaking content. Like, it's all laid out, and you have like this scrolling file cabinet of content.
Yes.
And I think that's what makes it exciting when you have kind of a consistent content rollout, because you have all this stuff that's so easily accessible when someone actually visits your feed, versus someone finding it organically by searching on a hashtag or something like that. Now, something like the Poke Couple, like you guys, where you're sharing a lot of content. I mean, that's got to be. That's another unique perspective on how to use the tool to kind of not only support other creators, but to become kind of a destination for content of different brands and of different styles. So, I mean, how does that fit in with creating your own content? Like, how do you, like, from a platform perspective? Like, I don't think that you would have success doing that on other platforms. I think that Instagram really lends itself to what you're kind of doing there.
To answer your original question about why Instagram, I think the number one reason is accessibility. It's so easy and it's so widely used, and it's so easy to use. It's a really good spot to share all your content. And something like I also mentioned before, I've been doing Instagram with my other account, the Nerdy Hero, for almost 5 years now. So I'm used to it. I know how it works. I know because I've had over 100,000 followers with doing that before. So I know I'm very used to how it works and how to make friends in that niche and how to use that to share each other's content and stuff. So when I started the Pokemon account, I just ran it from day one with 0 followers. I just started running it the exact same way I would run it if I had 100,000 followers.
Hell yeah.
And it's been a little over a year now, I think, give or take. And I'm already at 10,000 followers and very, very happy to do so. But I started running it that way with not really believing I would ever get past 100 followers. I didn't think it would be that important. It was more so just a way to express what I wanted to share. Like, I want to share this. I don't care if I get 1 comment or 1,000 comments. Exactly. I just want to share it. And that's the same reason I started the other account too. It's just because I just want to share something I really enjoy doing. And it's been great. And actually, I do all my editing for either the posts or the vlogs is all done on my phone. Hashtags all set up. Post it right there. It's all super easy to use, and that's probably why I like Instagram so much. I do a little link to Twitter. I've been trying to dabble more with Twitter because a lot of people end up using it. It's really easy to use too, so I'm trying to get more into it. But I just never really, for Pokemon Go specifically, I never really got into trying to use YouTube, because YouTube, I feel like you got to sit down, you got to like spend a part of your day to do, and then just like uploading times, everything just felt like it was too much. And people are busy. We don't have YouTube as a primary job.
Right. No. I think that, again, it seems like the common theme again is accessibility, and I think that's a huge draw to this platform as a creator, because you can soup to nuts kind of do everything right from the device, right from the phone, which makes it very accessible. Now Shiny Instinct, like, you've got a huge following, and when I look at your channel, it's so uniform and clean and information driven, and I think that's a little bit different when it comes to the approach of creating content. So when you're putting your content together, I mean, how does that work for you as a platform? Because it seems that, I mean, just scrolling through and you have like consistent colors and the color palette is so appealing and consistent. I think that's really unique when it comes to how you lay out your channel in this vertical format of scrolling through a page, but it's all information driven. So what kind of inspired you to be a creator that's, you have this helpful perspective where you're putting this data together for trainers out there and helping them out, and at the same time you're being artistic and creative. I think that's a great combo. So how does the platform kind of treat you when it comes to that? Because it seems like you can get a shit ton of information in a nice little square. Like, it's so neat and tidy. It's like you really pull it off. Like, how does that work out for you? Like, was that kind of your original thought process in the beginning? Was like, I want to create information that I can share, and I could be able to put it in this nice square little package and get it out there. Like, how did you get inspired to do that?
Well, honestly, I started kind of like how Pokeball did, and I just started like posting like my shiny catches. My first post was the shiny Wingull I caught, and then the colors I used, I extracted them from a shiny Poochyena, and that's why I made
Okay.
that my profile picture for some time. And then I started selling merchandise, and I was like, I can't use a copyrighted Pokemon character, so I had to change my logo and everything. But yeah, I love having the kind of, like you said, the uniform down my page and the golden kind of like dark brown faded colors. And then yeah, it's kind of a struggle sometimes putting all the information in like a little square, but it's fun. It's kind of artistically challenging to understand the composition of a certain photo and how what a viewer is going to see when they go on your page. Are they going to see like this giant Dragonite in the background or something? Or because some posts don't do that well if I just put straight information onto it, but if I mix it up with the Pokemon interacting with it somehow, like maybe the box of information has like a Dragonite's claws holding it or something, it does a lot better. It's because it catches the user's eye and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's this really cool story to hear the backstory about the color palette too, because it is so uniform and consistent. It's very appealing, and as a marketer, I work in marketing, digital marketing in my day job. Just the way a human's eyeballs work. When you're looking at content from left to right, the draw of the human's eye is very, like, when I look at your content, it's very easy to kind of just want to continuously scroll because everything kind of works so well together. Even though you have different Pokemon and different colors and different content and all this text and information, it all just flows so well. So I think that that's a very interesting approach, and you pull it off very well of how to kind of make sense of all that with consistency of color palette. It's really really cool look. All
Thank you.
right, I want to move over a little bit to something a little bit different here now, because Risen, your content, you've got tons of different shit. You've got, static images. You've got hilarious videos. You've got informative infographics. You've got AR photos. You've got a whole lot of stuff going on, and but it all has this incredible vibe of you as a character and you as a persona and a personality. And I think that's something that's pretty unique with your channel, because one, you've got the beard, man, and the powerful beard is very identifiable. And and when I see that character, and you have this such a great vibe and positive look, and it comes across in your content. And as I'm scrolling through here, I mean, it's just like I smile so freaking much as I'm scrolling through, because it makes me so happy. But what's your kind of plan when it comes to your content? Because it seems that you're really utilizing and taking advantage of the fact of how diverse Instagram can be, and I think that's an interesting approach as well.
Yeah, I appreciate the kind words. Seriously, that's like a goal of mine, is to kind of spread positivity and realness, and just having a good time. Yeah, that's me. I'm all, yeah, right. Yeah, like it's just have for me, it's just having fun. Like, I do this even if I don't share it with anyone. And I think that's really what I try to do, is just like be myself, and Instagram for me is a really good way to elevate who I am and what I do and how I like to have fun. Um, it's just, yeah, it helps elevate that. So I had other accounts. So I have a cosplay account. I haven't posted to it recently, but that was mainly like sharing other people's content, and it was really hard to market that and to get people to kind of spend any kind of money on it, even advertisers and stuff. And so when I created my Pokemon account, I knew that I wanted me to be the forefront of it. Um, so myself kind of being that brand, um, and how can I do that? And so I've tried a bunch of different stuff. um, like I said, right now, there's 2 posts on there where I'm taking my body outline, and putting the emoji, like smiley faces, over my body, to express different emotions. But it's still it's still me, right? So I'm always like, yeah, I'm interested in what you can share on Instagram, and as long as it's Pokemon related, it'll be on the channel for sure. Um, and I'm sure I try to be a little bit broader than just Pokemon Go, even though Pokemon Go is definitely how it all started. Um, Once you create content for like through 3 years, at least for me, it can get kind of hard to play the same game every day and
Sure.
post the same content. And so that's why I like kind of dabbling in some of those other areas in games. Um, and I like just sharing and showing. Like, I think sometimes we divide out those different communities a little bit too much. And I'm trying to kind of pull those people in, but then also share those people, share my following with other people. Because I will definitely share posts from different people, artists, and some of the people on here. Like I love Shiny's posts, especially how branded they are. I love those kind of infographics. um, and there's a couple different content creators that make them, and I love sharing them. But at the end of the day, I got to make sure that, at least for me and my page, um, I try to hit like a 70% mark, has like me and my brand on it in some way. um, and so how do I do that? What does that look like? And it varies. And like I said, I'm always trying something new. I do a bunch of kind of like photo shoots of me doing like different things, and then I cut those out and make PNGs so that I can slap that on something, anything. And that's just like an easy way to kind of brand it and keep it all together, but then also bring that energy. Because just post for me, just posting like a picture of the Pokemon or shiny and whatever, it's fun, it's fine. um, it it doesn't like get my energy out there. That like when I found this thing, I was like flipping out. Like I'm like screaming, I'm yelling, I'm like doing your dances. And if I just post that picture of hello kitty, if I just post a picture of that Pokemon, it just doesn't do it justice to who I am. But you definitely see that on there sometimes, because I can't do that all the time. But I just love sharing, like, I don't know, I guess my excitement for this thing. And then also, a big part of my community is asking people questions and receiving from people, and just being a kind of a sounding board of like, what excites you about this community. It's not just me, throwing things at you, but me also just being like, let's love this thing together, right? And maybe you love shiny hunting, maybe you love battling, maybe you love the card game, or maybe you love Pogo, you love the VGC, like maybe you just like the movies. I don't care. Like, let's just share our love for this like thing that we all enjoy, right? That's kind of at the core what I try to
Man,
do.
that's good stuff, man. That's- and it's so funny that you're talking about the emojis, because I put up a picture today. I battled Arlo, the Team Go
Yeah, yeah,
Rocket
yeah.
leader, and he kicked my ass like 4 or 5 times. And I was so excited when I beat him, and I put up this picture of him.
Yes, yes, exactly.
I was like, yes, take it, bro. You're crying.
Yeah.
But no, that's great, man. I think that that extension of yourself as a personality. Again, another way that Instagram can be used to get that creative expression out and to put that energy out into the world, because you're extending that and using that as a platform and a megaphone to share that excitement with other people, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, hell yeah, absolutely. Let's see what else we got here. So, the entertainment versus education thing. I think this is another nice blend of where we see things like from Professor Pokeballer and Shiny Instinct and even the Phoenix, where you have experiences in the game, whether it's through a static image or video, or like with what the Phoenix and even the Poke Couple are doing, where you're kind of blending the two mediums of static imagery with video content. I think that's a nice blend, and again, utilizing that the tools of the platform. But Phoenix, you're probably one of the newer channels or brands, on this panel. What do you think has been the biggest challenge with kind of getting that finding your artistic voice on the platform? Because I've kind of seen this really nice progression of your content kind of over time, where I think you've really planted your roots now, and it's like, oh man, now he's got a voice, he's got his own vibe and his own brand, his own look. How did that kind of come together for you? Because I think as a creator and as for aspiring creators, that's got to be a challenge and something they should definitely keep in their headspace of what kind of brand should I create, and how can I kind of sustain and nourish that brand visually. So what was your inspiration with kind of how you're putting stuff together, showing off again that practicality of what you're doing in the game, but making content out of it?
Yeah, so I stopped playing the game for a while, and then I came back around the second time Zapdos was released, and I was like around level 30, and I started grinding and just got my way to 40 within like a 5 or 6 month period. And I was just, once I came back into the game, I was catching all these shinies. I realized what shinies were. I realized you actually had to grind to find them. And I got excited every time I found a Pokemon, or I could battle a raid boss by myself, or just duo it with someone else. I was excited, and I wanted to share my excitement with other people. And I've been following some of these content creators ever since the beginning. Like Shiny Instinct, I was following you before I even started my own Instagram, and I had inspiration from you and other creators, and I really just, I wanted everyone to be excited. There may not be some Pokemon that some people can catch. They may be living in other biomes or other regions, so maybe they want to see that stuff on other people's page, the mon that they can't catch themselves. So that's kind of where I've been going. And then, like I said, I've kind of been moving towards the AR stuff, and I feel like Instagram is perfect for that. The pictures and the short clips and how fast you can get your content out on Instagram is one also big factor for me. Because I've tried YouTube, and I do use YouTube for PvP stuff, but that's because I need longer time frames for that. So that's why I use YouTube. But Instagram, you can get things out so quickly. And even AR photos, you can take a half hour editing them, but that's not a long period of time, a half hour. And I'm glad you said that. I'm planting my roots. I'm still trying to find my way, because I definitely am one of the newest. But I'm just having fun with it. I'm excited, and I'm trying to get other people excited about the game. I want them to go out there and hunt and be excited to play every day.
Awesome. Yeah. And another common theme that I've kind of heard a couple times already tonight is that, even if I wasn't, even if I had zero audience, this is still what I want to do. And I think that organically as a creator is that natural extension of, your creative mojo. You know what I mean? And it's like, I grew up being in bands, playing music, and I saw a shit ton of success playing music. But, there was a long time where it was just like, friends and family, hey, thanks so much. You know what I mean? It's you got to act as if you own the place, act as if, your audience is massive. And this is an opportunity for you to create this, this perspective and persona and brand where it's just like, look, the quality of content is going to be the same whether I have 1 follower or 1 million followers. I think that's very interesting. And again, all comes back to that accessibility. So one other thing I want to talk about here, because this is, again, as a non-Instagram focused creator, I draw a lot of inspiration. And when I was on Professor Pokeballer's page and even Instinct's page, Shiny Instinct's page, is the use of highlighting stories and using the highlights to actually subcategorize your content and make it almost similar to like how a website would function, where it's just like, oh, you want to see, shinies, click this button. You want to see, different things that are going on in the game, click this button. And when I look at Professor Pokeballer's page, it's like you're using the different typing logos, and it's just like, this is so cool because it carries the Pokemon brand. It defines what's going on inside each of those things. And when you click on it, there's just so much content. So it's just like, what inspired you to kind of, Professor Pokeballer, what inspired you to kind of put this kind of process together with creating this, again, educational format, but then providing this outlet of utilizing the highlight tool kind of in a, it's kind of like an outside of the box way, because you're not just highlighting your stories, you're actually highlighting categories of content. I think that's really cool.
Well, I needed to focus more on putting stuff into the highlights, but as far as the design goes, I'm a huge TCG player as well, and those actually, I just took pictures of the actual energy cards and edited them myself.
Those are photos?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I took pictures of oh, I'm sorry, I didn't take pictures of I just Googled pictures of but they're images.
They're images, right.
Pokemon TCG energy cards. And I edited them to fit in the highlight there. But for me, I'm kind of, from a design perspective, I'm a little OCD. So, as you probably see with my page, it's very commonly themed with colors and stuff like that. And it's all, even down to the logo and all that good stuff.
That's continuity right there. That keeps the same theme going.
Well, that's what I was talking about, like with Shiny Instinct. It you have that continuity, and even if someone were to see a one-off picture, it's like, oh, I know where that came from. I know what that is. I know that brand. And then when they finally make their way back to your page, they see it all together.
I remember when I first started on Instagram. By the way, I had never used Instagram in my life before I made an account.
Most people haven't.
I've just never been a media person. I just never had
this guy over here slinging the jokes.
I actually deleted a bunch of my beginning photos and stuff just because they were so bad, and like I've grown so much from a design perspective that I want it to be the way it is now. But I remember my one of my best friends saying, because I was getting a little discouraged, because you can make really good content, and I'm sure everybody that's ever had a low follower count can relate to this. You can make really, really good content and have no one see it, and it can be really discouraging.
Sure.
And my best friend was like, well, you know what? That's going to make a difference when you do start to get a big following, because people are going to see that difference when you do get a bigger following, and it's going to make a huger difference later on. So just keep going.
We all started at 0.
Yep.
We all started at 0 followers.
I remember talking to Shiny Instinct when he had like 500 followers, and I had just created, back in the day, 66,000 followers now.
When I met you and Shiny Instinct, I believe our page was at 500 followers. I believe.
It's crazy.
And you guys were, now.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's I don't know. It's turned into like more of just like all these people minus the Phoenix and Balloons, because I just met them, but like Poke Couple, Charmander, Shiny Instinct, Jade, they're kind of like my family now because I've known them for so long. It's kind of crazy.
Exactly.
And again, that kind of follows this same really awesome vibe that the Pokemon creator scene has, between these different niches of content. The podcasters, the YouTubers, the Instagram creators, the photographers, the artists, and
battlers.
The battlers, right? It's like everyone is kind of working together to kind of lift themselves up. and I think that's super important. And I like to play that card of bridging the gap between those different types of creators, because this stuff isn't, it there's no way that you could be into Pokemon Go and have a passion for the Pokemon and have Pokemon in front of your face every day, and then see a Mewtwo made out of balloons and not get excited about it. You know what I mean? Like, there's just no way that that's not going to happen, because it's a natural progression artistically of identifying what that is. And it's like with Pokemon balloons, it's like it's very appealing, and it's like it's just so incredibly outside of the box from what most people are used to, that but they can relate to it, because I know what a balloon is. I've seen balloon animals. Wait, you shouldn't be able to make that detailed of a thing with balloons. Holy shit, that's Mewtwo. Like, that's Ralts. Like, I can see what that is. Like, it's really, really, really intriguing and really, really cool.
The community a year ago was almost non-existent for Pokemon Go, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Jade version was the first person that I saw that had a Pokemon Go account on Instagram, and kind of inspired me to make one. I think he had like 2,000 followers then. Shiny Instinct had just started as well.
Yeah, I mean, some of you guys have like massive followings, and it's really
a year later now, like literally all these small accounts popping up. Everybody's trying to do what we're doing now, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of cool.
When I started the when I started the account that we have now, I did it just to express my Pokemon Go moments, but I never expected to see other Pokemon Go accounts on Instagram. I didn't know there were other ones, but like the only one I knew of was Couple of Gaming, because they did the infographics, but they were the only ones that kind of like influenced me to include my fiance to do more of a couple theme. But besides that, I did not expect to see other pages doing it. Then I met Shiny Instinct and
that was a couple, if you remember.
Yeah.
What was that?
I actually started out my page as a couple. I used to be called.
That's right.
And then my ex and I broke up, so I changed it. I was doing
I helped you. I helped you get the name Professor Pokeballs, because you said something else. It was Doctor. You said Doctor Pokeballers, and I'm like, nah, Professor.
I can't remember. That was like half a year. Probably longer.
I gave you the idea of using Professor because there's more Pokemon theme.
Had to let the doggo out of the room to go on Paw Patrol.
My dog over there has a muzzle on his face.
I'm sure she's going to be crying in 2 seconds to come back in. But all right, well, let's shift gears a little bit, and I want to talk about something that is definitely a behind the curtain kind of topic, and that's audience acquisition. And I think that that's probably, regardless of what format you're in, whether you're creating artwork or podcasting or cosplaying or any of that stuff, developing and drawing in an audience is probably one of the most challenging things. And we're fortunate to have on this panel a ton of audience, a ton of creators that have a massive audience. So I want to kind of go over to Shiny Instinct here. Was it did you have to have a proactive approach to going after your audience itself, or did it kind of just start trickling in and rolling in? Because it seems that you've created a huge and massive and very, very loyal following, and your engagement rates on your posts are very, very high, which again is a whole another area of importance when it comes to Instagram.
It was kind of a little both. Like, it did trickle in a little bit, and then I kind of put in a lot more work to kind of make it grow faster. And just my basic thing is I try to do 1 to 2 posts a day, and I think since I've made my account, there's only been 2 days I haven't posted anything. Like,
oh wow.
And those days I still get a couple followers, but not nearly as much as I do when I actually have like 2 posts going for me that day. And like each post carries on to the next day, and it kind of drives the growth rate and everything.
That's a pretty interesting approach, because when I kind of mess around with Instagram, it's like I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And Adam from Lured Up does a great job putting together like the a blend of TCG and Pokemon Go AR, and that has kind of diversified our audience. Where yes, we're we've got a lot going on the Pokemon Professor Network, and we've got different podcasts that cover TCG or the anime or Pokemon Go, but we kind of I'm trying to encapsulate this overall Pokemon atmosphere with what we're doing on Instagram to allow for that diversification of the audience, and that seems to have worked really well for us because we have TCG fans that are commenting on the Pokemon Go pictures, and then we have Pokemon Go players that are commenting on something that has to do with the anime. It's that kind of crossover has worked really well for us because we've kind of made that kind of the umbrella goal of capturing the audience from that perspective. How can I draw in these Pokemon fans that aren't just sitting in one corner of the Pokemon room? I want to be able to kind of like what Risen was saying, let's all enjoy this shit together. Like there's no reason, just because you're not into the anime or you're not into Pogo doesn't mean that we can't find some common ground about what makes Caterpie a cool Pokemon. It's still a bug, you know what I mean? Like that's cool, you know what I mean? So it's like I enjoy that, and I think that that's super important when it comes to the audience thing, because there's just so many different ways you can go about it. And as someone that works in digital marketing and retail in my day job, there is easy ways to do it. You just throw freaking money at it, advertising, in promotions and boosting posts. That's a whole nother ball game. And I kind of want to go. Is anyone here actually have any campaigns that are cooking right now? Are you guys doing any promotions or boosted posts, or are you guys all working organically? Anyone got anything boosted going on right now?
I have one right now.
So it's not a lot, and you guys have these.
I do. I usually do mine on through my YouTube videos, not on Instagram usually, because I generally get like enough like traction through Instagram. But if I'm doing YouTube, I'll usually like have one or two boosted.
Yeah, and it helps, and I'm a huge fan of the whole Facebook marketing program, and again that carrying over to Instagram, but being able to build and develop audiences for your campaigns, that's a whole nother ball game, and that's a whole nother conversation that we can get into at another time. But it's really inspiring to hear that the bulk of this audience from everyone here on the panel has been created organically. I think that's really, really cool, and very, you guys should be very freaking proud of that, because the easy way out is just, and again, easy is a relative term when it comes to spending money, but money is typically the easiest way to acquire audience. So it's like,
I think I've only boosted like two things in.
Look, algorithms. All right, so
I think I've only boosted two things in a couple of years. Like that's it.
The algorithm thing is like, when it comes to YouTube, we hear that word all the time, and it's interesting to hear. And again, how this comes into play with how people find content on Instagram, whether it's just a recommended post or a advertised post, a boosted post, or someone searching on a specific hashtag, or one of their friends likes a page that their friend likes, and you have that trickle down effect. There's a lot to kind of dig into and figure out when it comes to how that works and how to get in front of new people. It's very intriguing, and I'm still freaking learning all about it now, because there's just so much to it that if you can do it organically and just put up a good post and gain traction and gain engagement just from putting up an organic post, then you got the secret sauce. Then that you actually have something cooking, because it's you and not the almighty dollar that are bringing people, capturing people's attention, which I think is really cool.
Instagram varies heavily by day as well. It's not like YouTube where it's like, I post at 5 p.m. every single day. If you post at 5 p.m. every single day on Instagram, you're going to get different results every single time. Drastically different results.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
Picture versus a video at a certain time, you're going to get drastic results. And as to whether the content is relevant or not.
Interesting. Interesting. I didn't even think
If
of that.
there's an event going on right now and you
I'll
post
give
a
you
picture
the
of
best example that I possibly could. Pictures do horribly on Instagram as far as they don't get pushed into Explore, which is where new people find your content. Pictures just don't go into Explore at all. For example, I have a recent post that did 138,000 reach. 80 people saw it on Explore, but it was a picture.
Wow.
But then I have a video that could have 20,000 people saw it on Explore on a certain day at a certain time. Like it's a constant battle of figuring out when to post based upon what it is as well. It's crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah, I think so the good thing about pictures, and I would imagine Shiny's numbers probably reflect this, is that with the infographic style stuff, it's easier for people to pin it and go back to it, and then share your stuff also. I'm not sure what your share rate is, Shiny, or anyone who makes infographics, but they're generally a lot higher than, say, just a picture of me like doing a thing with a Pokemon, right? Because people love sharing that information. Because even when I've done infographics, I know they get way more engagement as far as other people saving them in that little tab, or B, just other people taking a screenshot of that or using apps to then repost that and tag me. And it can be a really good way to get organic growth if you have some kind of following. But definitely, videos are getting a huge push, and especially the IGTV videos too.
Well, that's interesting to me because YouTube does so well for Pokemon Go, and there's a ton of exceptionally successful YouTube creators that are putting out YouTube content, and when I use this word loosely, but long form video content, and by long form I mean longer than 7 minutes. You know what I mean? Like with Instagram, I would imagine that a little bit more of a sample size, a bite-sized thing is going to do better on Instagram. Because it's the mobility of consuming it on your phone, and again that the scroll culture. So this kind of plays into what another direction I wanted to take the conversation was how you can kind of compete on Instagram with video when Pokemon Go is so heavily pushed into video on YouTube. And Phoenix, I'll come to you here because you kind of work the blend where you have video content, but you're still utilizing formatted and consistent framing and static imagery that is, people are kind of become accustomed to on Instagram. So it's kind of that blend of the two. And I think, do you think that's important to developing your own kind of brand consistency? I'd imagine so, right?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think so. And the thing with YouTube and Instagram, you guys may disagree, but I feel like YouTube and Instagram, they don't compete because you touched on it yourself, Ken. I feel like Instagram is more for the shorter formats and YouTube is more for the longer formats. So I feel like there isn't much competition. If you want to watch those longer videos, then yeah, go to YouTube to get your Pokemon Go content. But if you want to see quick clips, you want to see pictures, then head to Instagram and see and go to watch it on Instagram. But no, I kind of ride that line, and I do get into PvP YouTube videos. But yes, no, I definitely think it's definitely important on Instagram. And Pokemon Go is great for Instagram because all those catches, all the shiny catches, the raid bosses, it doesn't take 7 minutes to do all that. It takes a minute, maybe 3-4 minutes to beat a raid boss, and you could upload that quickly on Instagram.
Yeah, and that's definitely intriguing, the balancing that again, moving away from video with something like Pokemon Balloons, where you're really going to benefit from the shareability and the benefit of oh my god, look at this picture. You know what I mean? And it's like there's been so many times where, I'm looking at your stuff and my son is in the other room, and I see something really awesome, and I'm like, this is perfect. I gotta show him this like right now. You know what I mean? And I'll just leave it on the screen and run and or throw my phone at him or something like that and be like, dude, you got to see this. So it's like that. Do you ever feel like that it's hard to kind of develop your own presence or develop your own brand without doing video?
Yeah, I've actually been considering starting a YouTube channel. There's been many requests for it on my page. Um, a lot of people are interested to see how the balloons are made, which the best way I can describe it is like drawing with a 3D pen, and the balloons are my line, and I just kind of build on them from there. So,
Okay, that's cool.
you know,
I would love to see that. I mean, I think that that's kind of that almost seems like a natural progression of how to enter the video space with what you're doing.
Yeah, you could also this idea. You could also for other people too. So something I tried to was like cheating the system a little bit, which was just taking the static image or graphic, putting it into a video application, and then just putting it out as a video, right? And maybe putting some music behind it. And so it's still a video, and it kind of cheats the algorithm in a way, and you don't have to be like, I'm doing a thing, right?
I know all about
Also,
that
you
because
you mentioned
I
about
upload all my podcasts to YouTube. You know what I mean? And it's like it's the thumbnail. You know what I mean? For an hour and 20 minutes. You know what I mean? It's like there's nothing engaging to visually watch. We do these roundtables. Yeah, we get to see everyone's face and everyone moving around. But like for the most part, all it is just an audio podcast. But it's important for me as for brand diversification to have that presence on YouTube, even though like, I'm going to have, 10, 20, 30,000 people listening to the podcast on an audio format, and I've got, 60 people listening to it on YouTube. It's like, it's still important to be there. But it's definitely cool when you can kind of bridge that gap, or you have something that's going on one platform where you can kind of, cross that bridge over to a different platform. And I would love to see how some of these balloons are made, because I'm so freaking intrigued. It's just, especially some of the, like, what's the biggest one you've ever made? Because they're not small. Like, they look huge.
No, the biggest one I made was a Mega Charizard X, and I gave that away for a raffle we did at. We had a glow event for my local community, and we all got together and we had a raffle, and I raffled off that balloon. And it was a good 5 foot tall, and the tail went up. And
The
you gonna
tail
get into
lit
some
up.
Dynamax Pokemon?
Yeah.
Right. It was a Charizard. I mean, come on, I had to make it lifelike.
That's cool.
The
Yeah, that's
lady that
about how
won
tall
it
it
was
is.
like, how do I get it home? I was like, oh, it'll just sit in the seat. You'll be fine.
Put the seatbelt on it.
Yeah.
I want to see a cop pull her over, looking in the back seat. What is that?
It's not what you think.
It's exactly what you think.
That's awesome. But no,
You had asked.
Go ahead.
Yes, I was gonna say you had brought up about comparing YouTube and Instagram, and to me, I don't really look at it as comparing as which one's better, and I don't even look at it like which one's better for the user or the consumer. I feel it looks like it's, as you brought up earlier, a rising tide raises all ships, right? So
Hell yeah.
people are gonna go to YouTube, and they want to look at Pokemon content for Pokemon Go. They're watching YouTube videos, and then they're gonna go on their Instagram, and then the all-knowing internet and the FBI is gonna just show our feed and our content into their Explore page, and then we get noticed as well. And I mean, they're sponsored, but good for the YouTubers. But we do it just because we have fun doing it, and I mean, we still get plenty of comment and interactions with fans as well.
Hopefully, Instagram.
That's the fun of it,
Soon enough.
Hopefully it's good enough.
No, hopefully it'll be monetized.
Oh hell yeah! Well,
Yeah.
and again, those are
There's
like
rumors.
yeah.
There's always rumors. There's always
Yeah,
rumors.
They've been working on potentially like a subscription model like Twitch, and then potential ad revenue from IGTV videos. But we'll see if they ever pull the trigger. I don't know.
Well, I think
good,
that
because I
that
was
would
about
be
to have my
huge.
fiance have a private Snapchat, so we can get some money coming in. I'm just kidding.
No, but that's important as a creator because even though that some of this stuff is bite sized, like it's still a huge investment of time, energy, creativity to put this content out. So having that come back and being able to monetize what you're doing, it not only validates what you're doing, but also it can kind of maintain that motivation and also increase the quality because you can potentially do things or go places that you weren't able to do before. So that's definitely important. I'm definitely all for monetization of content in any way. But all right, well, as we kind of wrap up here, guys, I do want to talk about one more thing, and that's kind of what the future holds for each of your channels, because like we were saying, the audiences are there. You guys have either established audiences, or you're on the road to creating growth for your channels. And Risen, you're talking when before we hit record, and you're saying like, yeah, I'm kind of gearing up for Sword and Shield. Like,
Yep.
how are you going? And you're going to do this on YouTube, or are you going to have an Instagram element to that as well?
Yeah, it'll be on Instagram for sure. There will be. So, I've been working on melding the two, and so I did this with when Pokemon Masters came out. I've been doing a lot of like how-to videos for Pokemon Masters, and so I'm gonna do some live streams for Sword and Shield. I'm also gonna try to hit how-to videos pretty hard, and then just your general like excitement and whatnot. That's great for Instagram. But the how-to videos and any of those streams and stuff, those will be posted on YouTube. But then also because of IGTV, I can post videos up to an hour long, and so I get a lot of hit on those. People, they really enjoy them, and I do think the Instagram community is developing over time as a longer form viewer, not just a 2 second post or a 30-second video. There is space for that longer video, and so so I'll be hitting up Instagram for sure. I'm very excited.
Awesome, man. That's great. And Poke Couple, like what where do you want to go with this? Because I've seen, like you're saying, you're dabbling in Twitter and stuff like that. Like I've seen you guys kind of spread your wings onto different platforms. Like, is that something that you're going to continue doing? Like as the in the future?
Okay, so right now what I want to keep working at is the IGTV vlogs that we've been doing. I want to keep working on those. But something I want to start aiming towards and dabbling is actually live streaming on Twitch when we have our little sessions, our grind sessions for a shiny or during an event. So I want to actually work on getting that set up. Probably have a second phone or something like that, and then we have that set up for streaming on Twitch. That's basically the next goal.
That's
we'll
cool.
see when that gets done.
Well, that's cool because again, bridging the gap between the different platforms, and I'm sure that there is. Of course, you're always going to have crossover between platforms with viewers, but I'm sure there are plenty of people on Twitch that are not on Instagram and vice versa. So, from an audience acquisition perspective, I mean that's a great way because you're just tapping into a different pool of customers of consumers that you've never. You would have never touched.
Kicked in there.
Yeah, I know, right? But you would have never been able to get in front of those people. You would never had that impression on them, just being on Instagram. So it's cool that you're kind of branching out into different formats because again, it's all going to come back to your Instagram at some point because those people that you find on Twitch. Will then link back to you on Instagram, and then again furthering that snowball effect of crossing those communities over on top of each other and building stronger penetration giggity on each of these different platforms. You know what I'm saying? Pause. So that's very important. You know what I mean? I think that's really cool. What about you, Professor Pokeballer? What's in the hopper for you? Like, you just going to continue on Instagram? Are you gonna mess around with with anything else?
Well, I just started the Twitter like a month ago. I'd never used Twitter in my life
Nice.
Nice.
and I've noticed, I don't know, you can actually get responses from celebrities on Twitter.
That's right.
JT Gilly says hi all the time.
That's
But
my fiance's favorite YouTuber.
um, that
That's
and,
joke.
you know, I know the IGTV is being kind of pushed, and maybe once you know, catching a shiny video or something like that is definitely something you want to just put in like a post. But I guess now that they're about to launch like Go Battle League and Pokemon Go, that might be something that would be like stream worthy on IGTV, because obviously you can't do a whole, you know, PvP battle in a 30-second video.
Sure.
But basically, just, you know, continue to do what I do. My graphic design is getting better, you know, every single day, and just kind of you know, seeing what works and seeing what doesn't, and go from there.
I'd love to see some TCG stuff, man. I'm all about the TCG.
I mean, I love playing I play TCG online every single day, but it's just I don't want to put it in my main store. I don't want to cross over and ruin my.
Got cards everywhere.
I have probably $10,000 worth of Pokemon behind me.
Oh, here we go. Here comes the flex. Respect the drip.
I've got a bunch of Ancient Muse. I've got some Shadowless base set first edition cards. Man, I was there in the beginning, so I've got, you know, I think I have one Shadowless Charizard from the base set.
You know,
Or TCG.
you know what's funny? I hated
play online.
Pokemon when it first came out.
Oh yes.
I hated it. Oh, because I was a kid. I was in school, and everybody was talking about it, and I just got so sick of it. I don't know how long the time passed, but I just remember at first I saw one of the first episodes, and I'm like, this is awesome, and I was just hooked ever since. I started collecting those cards and all that stuff when I was young. But yeah, when it first came out, I was so annoyed by it, and I hated it. But yeah, it came around fairly quick afterwards.
Nice. Pokemon balloons. What's I would really love to see how these things are made. I really hope that you go in that direction. I think that, and again, I'm so naive to the IGTV, but
am too.
you know, even if you wanted to stay on platform, I think that would be a kind of cool thing to do. But what are your plans for the channel? I mean, I love your AR stuff as well.
Thank you so much. I think I will check out the IGTV because I've never even messed around with it at all.
I
Nice.
recommend it for sure. It's
I mean,
good.
Definitely should. I
It's not-
know. Is it open for everyone yet, or a certain amount of follow? I knew it was. It used to be open only like if you had 5,000 or something. Does anybody
I'm
know?
there.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And I know I had to go into so they took it away for a while, and I had to actually go into the IGTV because there's an actual app. Download the app and create the account in the app, and then was able to pull it over into my Instagram. This is a while ago though, so I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
This is the thing.
part of the Instagram app.
Definitely check it out.
Yeah, but I definitely would love to see the creation element of what you got going on with the balloons.
Agree.
I'm just so intrigued,
Me too.
and it's just like I want to see it.
I actually forgot.
Giggity.
You asked me my tallest balloon. I made an 8-foot Snorlax. I forgot that
Oh.
was my actual tallest one. You could
That's
actually
crazy.
get inside of it and wear it as a costume.
What?
Wow.
Get inside of it.
What?
That's beyond me.
That is sick. That's so awesome.
Crazy.
That's so awesome. Shiny, you still there, man? We lost your camera. You still there?
Yeah, I'm on low power mode, so I turned off my camera.
Okay, it's all good. Yo, that's the Pogo
Yeah.
Charger life, bro. It's like I'm constantly in the red, man. I'm constantly there. But
I'm in the red right now. I've been in the red the whole time.
But Shiny, what about you, man? What's you have any plans for the future? You're just gonna continue cranking out like these awesome graphics?
I really wanted to do YouTube, and I tried it out, but I realized it's kind of in the sense of oversaturated. Like I would just be recreating like what Mystic 7 and GT Gilly and Trainer Tips would do, and I wouldn't really add any specific value unless I would throw in my graphics to it. So I'm kind of not pursuing anything but my Instagram right now.
Hey man, dude, it's working. So that's awesome. That's good to hear though, that because just don't stop the Instagram. As long as you don't stop, it's all good. And the Phoenix, what about you, man? And again, you've only been doing this a couple months, and I think that your trajectory is going in the right direction, and I think that teaming up with a couple of people on the panel here and getting to know more people in the community is going to be really good for you. But what are your goals? Like, you want to just branch out, or are you going to continue pursuing Instagram?
So I'm definitely gonna keep pursuing Instagram. I kind of want to get more serious with it because my goal right now is at least one post a day, but even some days I don't hit that. So I definitely want to get more consistent and get at least maybe 1 to 2 posts a day. I like the professor. I started Twitter a few months ago. I'm trying to kind of take that a little serious, but I'm just kind of
It's the Wild Wild West.
yeah.
Dude, I hate
And then
It is.
and then I also
rogue tweets everywhere.
and then I also have my YouTube channel, but that's mostly for PvP. But I do want to kind of take that more seriously because I've been going to more tournaments. I've been traveling more to more self tournaments. So I kind of definitely want to get more content on my YouTube.
Awesome, man. So I'm very inspired by you guys because, not only have I learned a lot tonight about how you guys, what your process is on Instagram, it really shows that as a creator in this space, you kind of have to keep yourself busy. You kind of have to have a lot going on, and if nothing else, have awareness. Like Shiny was saying, yeah, he doesn't want to go to YouTube, but the reasons for not going to YouTube are so incredibly smart. That makes sense of why he would want to stay and maintain on Instagram and not branch out. So it's just as intelligent of a choice to not go somewhere than to go somewhere if you don't have a plan. So I'm definitely inspired by all of you guys because it seems like you really have a strong perspective and grasp on how to use Instagram as a platform and develop that, and then use that if you want as kind of this bridge or stepping stone to other platforms, which I think is really, really cool. But guys, I think we did it.
What our,
Go ahead. What?
I said you never asked us what our teams were.
Oh God, do we got all right? I think I know what Shiny Instinct's team is.
Team Valor? No, I'm just kidding.
All right. Well,
man.
Risen, your team and favorite Pokemon. Oh, your dog took your mic off again.
Turned it back on. My bad. Turned it off. Team Unity, and my favorite Pokemon is. I'll go with Krabby.
Nice.
Krabby.
I like the Team Unity thing too. That's
Yeah, man. We need to get rid of teams. Sorry.
Poke Couple, what about you, man? What are your teams and your better half as well?
All right, so we are both Mystic, but I only joined Mystic because she asked me to, so I had to.
Wait, didn't you transfer over to Mystic with the team medallion?
I did, and I went to Mystic.
From what?
Who'd you
For
leave
her.
from?
Who did you
I miss
leave?
being Valor, I tell you.
Oh my! Oh,
You were what? You were Valor?
my
I
heart!
miss it.
My heart!
You miss Valor?
Get him out of here.
I'm like 6 months in right now. Another 6 months, and I can switch back. I promise.
Oh yeah,
man.
because it's a year, right?
Yeah, there's a year
but,
cooldown.
Favorite Pokemon.
Then you got to
Favorite
switch to
Pokemon.
Instinct.
The trifecta.
You
I
gotta
thought
follow
about
your
it.
instincts.
I did. I was going to, but then
Yeah, dude.
I
Instinct's
went with
the
her.
best for sure.
I thought you were Unity. What happened?
I do, but that is my team.
And what about
do
your
have a
favorite Pokemon?
Hers is Gengar. She loves Gengar to death.
Gengar.
Mine is Tyranitar. I love Godzilla, so Tyranitar. all
Oh
day.
hell yeah! Big Godzilla fan in this house. My son is absolutely obsessed with Godzilla. So,
I used to watch all those classic movies, all of them.
bruh. Nah, Godzilla 1954 on repeat. All right, Professor Pokeballer. What about you, man? What team you on? What's your favorite Pokemon?
I've been Team Valor since day one, of course. Have not switched ever.
Wow, make me feel bad.
And if you take
I did it for love.
peek at my logo, it'll give you
I
a hint.
did it for
of
love.
what my favorite Pokemon is Snorlax.
Yes, that's my wife, Melissa, co-host of Lured Up.
Dudley, and
She's obsessed.
I remember him from the original anime when I was a kid, and I was just like wanted to sleep on him. Just like, I don't know, just he's amazing.
Like, look, it's a perler
Little
poke
flute.
flute.
Pokeflute.
Oh, Adam makes these awesome perlers, and yeah, he had to make the poke flute for Melissa. But Renee, Pokemon balloons. What about you? What's your favorite Pokemon? What's your team?
Oh, you want me to pick one?
Pokemon of the week.
Oh, it's so hard to pick one.
I know.
My team is Valor. They want one.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Oh gosh.
favorite Pokemon, Umbreon. We'll go Umbreon.
You know, sometimes you just have to
One of my
make those
top six.
decisions. Sometimes you just have to go for it because otherwise you'll never decide.
No.
And Shiny Instinct, what about you, man? What's your you know, I know your team Valor, and what's your favorite Pokemon?
Gotta be Mewtwo. I love the shiny. I love everything about him. He looks like based off a human figure, and his psychic power is just like so awe-inspiring.
Awesome. And Phoenix, I mean,
I-
I'd imagine that Moltres is your boy, right?
Yeah, no, not Moltres, but I am Valor. My favorite Pokemon is Kanto Raichu.
Interesting.
So that episode as a kid just got me where Ash fought Surge and Raichu just beat Pikachu's ass. I love that episode ever since.
give him a thunderbolt.
Give him a Thunderbolt.
Give him a thunderbolt. That's awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate everyone coming on. I hope everyone learned something today, and I hope we kind of brought the community together. I hope you guys do some continued work together in the future. And yeah, sorry about the stream, guys. I wish that would have worked out. We could have had this live and interacted with the chat, but that'll be next time for sure. But I will put links in the description to everybody's channels and everywhere you can find all these awesome creators. Please, please, please check them out. Give them a follow. Give them a subscribe. Support them in any way that you can. If they have a Patreon, give them $1. They deserve it. I'm telling you. I appreciate it. But that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, we'll probably do another Instagram roundtable again in the future. Maybe we'll start talking about IGTV a little bit more because I'm definitely intrigued about where that's going to go with the platform. Definitely excited to dig into that a bit. But for everyone else, thank you so much for checking us out. Check out luredup.com for everything that we're doing here on the podcast. This will also be coming out as an audio format podcast in a couple days, so keep a lookout for that. And other than that, guys, you got anything else? Anyone got anything?
Love you all.
Yay, we
so
did
much.
Make sure
it.
to smash that like button.
Yes. Hit the bell, right? You got to say that stuff, all the YouTube stuff. But guys,
Smash the subscribe.
Like,
thank you guys so
subscribe,
much. We'll see everyone next time. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.